Hi everybody, hope you're doing well. And today, my friends, I am doing a bit of a review on an Indian restaurant that I have been visiting for the last 12 years. And I have to say, it has been a wonderful journey, wonderful experience ever since I have been with them for a long time in terms of getting to know the family and everything like that, and also enjoyed my time being as a long-term customer. Now, about this organization that I'm going to show you and talk to you about is called Preet's Palace Indian, a very nice, lovely Indian takeaway joint that has been around for about 16 years. This organization has been established in early 2006, and it has been made well known to me through friends of mine who have been through to nice takeaway joints like this, and also with the option to dine in. Now, I have to admit, over the time that I have been around, I was very thankful to have met good places like this over in a long period of time. When I first moved to Brisbane back in 2008, I did not know much of Indian or other restaurant joints that I could visit just to sit back, relax, and enjoy. And to be honest with you, I was just like, getting the feel of it, started making new friends, getting used to, the journey of getting used to it all, I suppose, when I first started living here. But one of the most amazing things that I've learned in due time was that I found out that this Indian restaurant was very well known to me and was done by through a lot of reputation from other people around the area who were telling me and saying like, hey, go check it out, it's great. So I made the effort to go check it out at one point and around about early 2010 and became a customer of that joint ever since. Now, back in 2010, the first meal I ordered from this organization was butter chicken, believe it or not. And they made a great, moist, tasty meal of butter chicken that I have had in history. It was very filling. The funny thing about it all was that I had it as a takeaway, and I decided to change that option to do it as a dine-in. This time round, when I did a dine-in for the first time, I was in a queue with a bunch of people there, and I have to say that all the tables and chairs were full. And one day I waited for a good hour and then I was able to sit down. So I was able to sit down and have the buffet for the first time. Man, it was great. It was a wonderful experience. I had a lot of curries, from butter chicken to madras korma, lamb korma, chicken korma, beef korma, madras curries like, lamb, chicken, seafood version, even combination. And there was a goat curry as well. It was a real shame though, about the goat curry, because the goat curry is a bit of a hit and miss. But sometimes when I did have a good, opportunity, I actually had a very nice meal out of it. I really did. I actually really enjoyed it, and there was a nice vegetarian curry that I really enjoyed too. And vegetarian curries, to be honest with you, are very hard to come by. So when I sat down there and enjoyed the vegetarian curries, I was just really thankful to have a good meal out of it. And I was very thankful to sit down, relax, and enjoy the opportunity. So I was relieved to hear that things were going well. And I started to make new friends there. And I met the Pateli family, and the Patel family was very nice. The Prince Palace Indian restaurant was very famous over in Melbourne, and now it's also famous in Brisbane at the time. And it's a bit of a shame though, because like when I heard about the announcement most recently back in June this year that the organization was making moves to close the doors, I was one of the many people have felt very sad to see the news of a wonderful joint is leaving after so many years of service. Now, I have to say that when you're used to a place, everything comes and goes, and I was like, feeling a bit emotional about the news of seeing a wonderful joint of a family organization being put to rest. But this is not a sad time, though, as I said, according to what they were mentioning on their Facebook post. It was a time for happiness, a time for relief and being thankful and saying thanks to everybody for their support and everything. And you know what? I have to say that, as a long-term customer, I understand why. And I was very, very thankful to be part of it. I really was. The funniest moment I ever had with this place was that I actually met some friends there, and we actually had a mixture of different naan breads. And at one point, I thought I was eating garlic cheese bread, but I actually ended up with very hot chicken curry, which is vindaloo curry, with, funnily enough, and this blew my mind away, with chili garlic naan bread. And I thought it's hilarious, and I actually asked for it when I ate it, and man, why I ate the spices, I could not handle it, eh? I burst out laughing hysterically. I was in tears and laughing, and the owner gave me some yogurt to cool me down and everything. That was very nice. But I will say this, I love my curries during winter time. It gives me an opportunity to clear my sinuses, and it makes me feel alive. The spices of the meals were good. Sometimes there was a bit of a hit and miss when some of their meals was a bit, um, too much, spice, but not enough flavoring to their meals. And other times, well, I suppose it really depends. It really did. It really came down to, like what you could, have in the end and what you couldn't have. But you know what? I will say this very openly. I really enjoyed the opportunity to sit down and relax and have a decent sized meal with my friends. And I really did. The best time I ever had was back in early 2019, actually. And I'll share you this story. Back in 2019, early 2019, we had a new roommate called Giva. And my roommate Giva, who's an Indian, he always loved chicken curries. And I actually said to myself, man, I'm wondering if I could take my friend for a drive to somewhere nice. And I thought about the Preeti's Palace Indian joint. And I said to myself, you know what? Just myself, Dad, my roommate. Let's go down there as a one-off, do something nice. And we did. We went down there, had a nice meal together, and it was great. It was an all-you-can-eat buffet, and there was only a small crowd, but it was nice. We actually sat down there, had a nice meal. It was the middle of, like wet weather, and, it was funny. I was parking my car just like this photo here, just sitting here, ready to go inside. We walked in and we had a nice meal together. We sat down and talked about anything for ages, and the owner was very, very happy to see us. The funny thing about it all was that, there was not many customers coming and going, and like he used to, as you were saying, and he was wondering what happened and why. And then I was thinking about it at one point, and I just didn't say anything about it because honestly, back then I thought nothing of it. And a couple months later, it irked me a little, and I was starting to wonder about it. Then the pandemic happened in 2020 when it started, I will say this very much though. The the pandemic, the COVID-19, it's such. It really impacted every single Australian business, not just this one, but Pretty's Palace Indian did a good job of hanging in there as best they could. The meals were still good, and dine-in meals were not as much as they used to be anymore, and it was all takeaway based. It felt depressing though, because like I wanted to sit down there and just enjoy a nice dining meal with friends. But due to restrictions and everything going on, 2 years in the making of all this trauma and turmoil, it was basically, we could give or take what we had been given. But the meals were still nice, still fresh. Having free rice as well with the meals as well, alongside with naan bread, garlic bread, whatever choice we wanted. Nice meals to choose from, and it's still there. Their menu was fantastic, and it still is to this day. The meals are fantastic. Everything I ate there was beautiful. I actually loved their meals. And in all seriousness, though, when I thought about it all, I'm very thankful to have met the Patel family and this restaurant. Being a loyal customer for 12 years means a lot. It speaks a lot of volumes for me. But at the same time, it speaks a lot of good memories and, fond memories for everyone involved too. I was looking at the Facebook business page, and I was looking at all the heartfelt messages of saying thank you for everything, thank you, we wish you all the best for retirement and everything like that. The reason why the Patel family made this announcement, I thought the business was having problems with money. No, it weren't. It was all coming down to they wanted to retire on a high note, and that's probably a good thing. So when I saw the announcement, and I was very thankful with the announcement, I was one of the many people out there who just kept coming and going to the restaurant until the day they left. One thing I will say, folks, about this organization is that I always have a lot of good feeling about this place. A lot of, smiles and joy about it. There was an old saying from someone that I know that says, like, whenever we leave a place, part of it goes with us and part of us remains. Stay around in the station for a while and just listen. You know, as I think about it all, this restaurant has been fantastic for what it's worth for the past 16 years. For the past 12 years for myself to be there as a loyal customer who has been there on and off, I want to say thank you. I really do. I really enjoy their meals, and I will miss this place. I will. There are not many Indian restaurants just as good as this, and some of them have become better than this one for different reasons, for different meals. But I will say this though, one thing about this place that I loved the most was the general atmosphere of feeling welcomed, listening to some lovely Indian music. At the same time, you get to have a nice family feeling oriented culture around you. And that is something I do miss. And that is something I was very, very thankful for. Um, the buffet meals were great. The people, the staff members who worked there were fantastic. Sure, there were a couple times that we had some bad moments there, but they did well. They improved their service in time, and they did a great job. But one of the funniest moments, and still to this day I still remember it, was when they stuffed up my first meal. When I first ordered butter chicken, and I was wondering about that, how on earth they stuffed it up. Instead of giving me butter chicken on the first time round, they gave me vindaloo chicken. Well, I have to admit, I love them both, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'll tell you this now, folks. Priest Palace has been a fantastic organization for the last 16 years. There's no way of knocking us down. You know, for the Patel family and the fans out there who have been to this restaurant, a big thank you from all of us here. I really mean it. A big thanks from all of us here for what you have done to the community, for Brisbane, and not just the Boondall, Virginia area, but the surrounding areas. I just want to say a big thanks to the Patel family for everything they have done together. And honestly, I really love this journey. I really do. This journey has been fantastic. I'm just glad to be part of it. And in all seriousness though, before we take off, thanks for everything. And definitely, I hope that sometime in the near future, we will meet again to share those good fondling memories. And in all seriousness though, if there were gonna be another restaurant like this, under this name again, I definitely will go to it. You never know, we might have somebody who will take over and enjoy it. Who knows? I mean, it'll be a great opportunity. But yeah, until then, thank you so much, Priest Palace. Thank you everybody for support for this, and as we farewell you as of the end of August 2022, best wishes to you and your family, and I hope the retirement goes well and your family legacy will always remain in our good minds, hearts, and everything else. Thank you so much for the journey. It has been great and wonderful to know you all. All the best. Thanks again.